it looks like we have everybody in here. Let's go ahead and let's get things started. All right, guys. Welcome to your second breakout room of today. This is service projects. In this presentation, we're going to be going over some different things that you can do within your club, and then that way, service projects. Yeah, I don't know.
So what is this breakout room? In this session, you will have the opportunity to exchange your club service projects and hopefully get some new ones that are sure to be successful. We'll have some time where you will be able to share your favorite service projects with everybody else, and all these ideas will be put into a Google document. I sent everybody an email with the link to both these slides if you want to follow along, and to the Google document. If you didn't get an email, just type your email in the chat and I'll send it a little bit later on. Some of the emails I tried to send were blocked because of your school email settings, so please put like your personal one. And then at the end, we're going to play free rice together. And in the email I sent, it also included some important information about that. I asked you to make an account on there because we want to see how many like grains of rice we could get by the end of this session. So I will send the group code in the chat so that you guys can do that like now. Okay, hold on, sorry. There, I sent it.
All right, guys. Well, while you guys are going ahead and getting up your free rice account set up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to talk about one of the service projects. This is a service project highlight that we wanted to do. It's called Wands for Wildlife, sorry. And basically what it is essentially it's this organization, and what they do is they take old like mascara wands like they used to, I'm a dude, I don't know the makeup. So anyway, but yeah, so they take old mascara wands and they end up cleaning them off, or they have people clean them off, and people will go ahead and send the mascara wands in. From that point, they could be used for a multitude of different things. They could be used as like brushes and things to like clean off animals, things like that. So what is it? So Wands for Wildlife, it inspires people to help wildlife and the environment. It just gets people to realize, different things going on in wildlife and things that we can do to help prevent it and stop the waste going into landfills and things like that. It engages people in ways to support wildlife and rehabilitation efforts. Same thing goes there. And it encourages greater mindfulness of the impact from human activity. So it makes people recognize that their waste that they're putting into landfills, it can be averted and it can be used towards something productive if you guys were to go ahead and recycle these things and send them in and have them used to help out the wildlife. How to do it? So what you do is you have the old mascara wand. You're going to go ahead and clean off all the old crusty stuff off of it. And then you're going to dry it off. And then you have a form that you're going to fill out from the organization. You fill it out with your information, things like that, and you go ahead and you ship it out. That's just one example of a project that you guys can do and start implementing in your club.
So next is Kindness Rocks, and there's a picture of them right there. This one is super simple yet super effective. All you need to do is get rocks, paint them, and then you scatter them around your community to help brighten people's day.
So as we mentioned before, real quick, show of hands, how many people set up their free rice account already? Let's see if we got, or in the chat. All right. Looks like a lot of people set up their free rice account. So that's what I'm going to be covering right now is the free rice game. So what is free rice? So basically how this is going to work, we're not going to play like right this second, maybe a little bit, but free rice is essentially a organization that went ahead and they set up an online game to where you go in and you play like a trivia game and see what you know. For every question you get right, they donate rice, or they donate money. They get advertisement money and things like that, and the amount of money that they get from advertisement goes straight to paying for rice, and it helps out people who are less fortunate and may not be able to eat. So that's what we're going to be doing towards the end of this presentation. We're actually going to be playing free rice. it's a good idea. You don't only have to do it like right now. It's a really good idea. It's something fun to do. I know, when we were at DLC last year, we played it and we were trying to see who can get the most rice. So this is a really good service project that you guys can start implementing in your clubs. And then that way, just like free rice Fridays or something like that, where you see who can get the most rice in, a certain amount of time. It's a really fun thing, and I'm sure you guys will see that when we play it.
Okay, so now we're going to share service ideas. So just like raise your hand or whatever on the Zoom, and Jason will call on you, and then I will be able to I will type them onto this Google document as you're talking.
So as we were saying before, the couple previous examples that we gave, those are just some ideas for community service ideas. So what we're trying to do right now is we're trying to brainstorm. We're trying to come up with some new service ideas that maybe you guys could start implementing into your idea or your own clubs, things like that. Does anybody have any ideas? Cheyenne?
One of my favorite things to do in my community is to connect with the elderly population. And so reaching out to an elderly home, a residential home, any sort of place that will shelter or care for elderly residents. It's a fun way to interact with the older generations and gain some wisdom. So if you have the option of writing letters to them, of having like a weekly phone call with someone, and that way they still have the interaction with the outside world and they're not all just cooped up in their own rooms.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a really good one, and it gets you to talk to other people outside of your bubble. So it's a good idea, and you're really actually helping out a lot of people. I know that there was LTG who was trying to do that. I forgot who it was, but they were trying to set up like a phone service plan, like a writing plan, and that was going to be their project for like an elderly home. So that's a really good one. I really like that. Do we have any other ideas, guys?
Mary
Anything?
said she had an idea, so Mary, you could go.
Oh, all right, go for it.
All right, so this is a seasonal one, but what I thought of, it was too late last time, but during Christmas time, like go to like a big department store or a mall or whatever and have like a free gift wrapping station. So people who buy their stuff for Christmas, they can get their gifts wrapped.
That's a really good idea. I actually really like that one. Cheyenne, I think we should do that. Get everybody on board with that. That's a really good idea. Thank you, Mary.
Yeah, that one's really cool.
All right, guys. Do we have any other ones? Just anything, you guys feel free to throw them out anytime.
My
There's
club
no
created.
judgment zone. There's no such thing as a bad idea, guys.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
So my club created a QR code, and you can basically, anyone can sign up. And what you can do is you can sign up for having your yard weeded or raked or shoveled, depending on the weather. And so it's accessible to like all seasons, and a lot of people can do it.
That's a really good idea. Do you guys have these QR codes like spread out throughout the community and things like that, or throughout the school? That's a really good idea.
We just created it, so it's still in the works, but we are going to put it throughout our school and have teachers like send it through their networks.
That's awesome. That's a really good idea. I'm glad to hear it. Who was that really quick? I couldn't see it on my screen.
Zoya right here.
All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that was a really good idea. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have any ideas?
One
Irene?
thing my club's in the middle of working on is we're setting up mentoring with elementary students to pair one club member up with an elementary student for like homework help or just like anything they might need.
Okay, that's really good. Is there anything like incorporated with like K kids and things like that? Do you know, like within the Key Club level for like elementary kids?
Not currently. We are like still in the really basic level of setting this up.
Okay, that's actually a really good idea. I would really like to hear how that goes. At the end of the presentation, I have my email and stuff like that. Feel free to shoot me an email, man, and let me know how that goes. That sounds like a really good idea. Irene, did you have something?
Yeah, this is something that I do like on my own time, but instead of like donating to like Goodwill or like things here, I send all my clothes and stuff internationally. So I have like a box that I like my mom actually I sent one this morning, but I send them to Philippines and then sometimes like I want to start sending them to like Africa and like third world countries, kind of like that, but instead of like donating here like locally, I like to donate internationally. So maybe you could like collect like items and then donate them internationally. It can be like costly because international prices, but it's a good way to give out like internationally and just instead of just locally.
Honestly, that sounds like a really good idea too, especially given the fact that if you were to donate, say like a t-shirt or something like Goodwill, like they're not going to pay you for it or anything like that. And two, like you're just basically giving them things that they could sell to make money off of. So, I mean, that's a really good idea. You were saying the shipping costs and stuff like that, but besides that, I think that's a really good idea. And I think that's probably going to have a bigger impact than you could even imagine. Do we have any other ideas, guys? Anything at all?
I have a good one that our club usually does well, we're doing it right now, especially during this pandemic. We're writing individual notes for all of our teachers, our custodians, our principals, just to let them know that we appreciate everything they're doing during this like pandemic and like just that we really appreciate all that they've done for us to allow us to be at school.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I mean, I think teachers and principals and things like that, they're definitely underappreciated, and I think that's a really good thing that you guys are doing, going ahead and showing them your appreciation. That's a really good one. Peyton, did you have something?
Yeah, so at my school last year we actually had found out that our special ed teacher was spending her own money to help get resources for her classes. Like she teaches them to do laundry and more like personal hygiene. So we actually had a drive to collect items for them, and we involved the entire school and teachers and staff, so that was cool. But we also invited some of the students to come to meetings and help out with different projects, and it gave them a way to feel appreciated in the school.
That's awesome. What club was that? And do you know the division?
It was my club at Sullivan High School. We're in the collegiate division.
That's awesome. I'm really glad to hear that. That's amazing. Yeah, that's really good stuff. Thank you so much for sharing that. What kind of drive was it? You said it was for things that like personal hygiene and things like that, right?
Yeah, so we actually collected laundry detergent and stuff like that so they could learn to do their own laundry. And then some of the students weren't able to like take showers at home and stuff, and so we got towels, washcloths, soap, that sort of thing, and then just also like deodorant and that sort of thing too.
That's awesome. I'm really glad to hear it. I'm glad that turned out good for you guys. Thank you so much. Do we have any other ideas, guys? Someone we haven't really heard from yet?
Layla is raising her hand in the chat.
Oh, all right. Layla, did you have something? I didn't see. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I had two different service projects. So there was one where they hold annual like walkathons for breast cancer in October, and they have to make they have to make calls by themselves, like thousands of participants. So they have many students volunteer to have like a spreadsheet where they call those people. They have a script and they're like, hey, we want to invite you to this event. It's going to be COVID safe because it's going to be a drive-through and all that. So if you reach out to the company, I can't remember specifically, you can call like the cancer survivors and invite them to like the walkathon or drive-through event for breast cancer. And then the second thing is many places around me don't accept like handmade cards anymore. So our Key Club personally, they just made virtual cards and then we took pictures of it and then we had the secretary just send them to the locations that were selected, like one of the hospitals. We sent the cards to the nurses and doctors.
That's really good. I'm glad to hear it. So, the first one, I wasn't really quite sure. You said the first half of it, you were getting people to sign up to like call the people to go on the walk, right? Because it was a lot of people signing up for it.
Yeah, so they have a list of just like past cancer survivors and like people who participated in the event, like normally, which is a walkathon. But instead, since COVID this year, they're doing like a drive around, like an area. So we call those people and we tell them about the event and just invite them to it and then tell them like the website they can visit to register.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. That's good to get your members out there and like calling people and stuff like that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I know that our school kind of did something similar. We were trying to plan like a run before this was pre-COVID, so it was like early 2019. We were trying to get like a run plan or like a marathon and things like that. And then throughout the way, like we had donation buckets and things like that for Riley Children's Hospital. And that turned out being like a really good thing for us. Anything with Riley's, yeah, and this isn't necessarily, I, since we're on topic of Riley's, I'm just gonna throw this out there. This isn't necessarily, I would say, a like project, but it's definitely like a quick fundraiser you guys might be able to do. I don't know if you guys have heard of Miracle Minutes, but that's something that our school does with Riley's Children's Hospital. So say at like football games or basketball games, things like that, where there's like a large crowd. What we'll do is we'll go, we'll have a minute, we'll have the people like on the announcer's booth, they'll announce it. And then we have, a bunch of students, we'll all give them a Riley's donation bucket and then they'll run up and down the bleachers and they'll try and collect as many donations as possible in 1 minute. I'm not gonna go into like exact numbers on that because I'm not too sure, but I know that it's always like we make some pretty good money off of those. So if that's something that you guys would be interested in. Do we have any other ideas for service projects?
I'm gonna like have us stop so that we have time for free rice, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay, my bad.
You guys all will have access to the document, so if you want to like add it later or whatever and just come back and use these for your clubs, you can.